That was the first thing I knew was wrong. Terrell is never at student events, ever, ever. Okay. I know these people. I worked with this organization. I asked Terrell, why were you there? You don't do student events. I mean, I'm talking about campus events, pardon. He said we were trying something new that day. And do you want to hear something funny? They tried something new that day, and that was the last day they did it because Terrell since has not been at campus events. So it was just first time, last time for everything.
Well, of course, then they lied about that, right? So they said initially the reason why they took the SD cards out of the camera was the cops told them to. And then the cops said we didn't. And then they switched their story and said, well, they were people were stealing hats, so we were afraid they were going to steal the cameras, I guess. And that's
and just the one behind his head, by the way. That's the one they were.
Yeah, you wouldn't just take the SD card; you'd take the whole camera. Why would you take
or like the giant? If you're gonna let they're gonna steal, the harder camera to steal is the one that's actually wired in up there. If you're gonna grab something off a table, there's a big camera right here. There's a camera over there. Like I'm just trying. If I want to do hood rest up with my friends, I'm not gonna like stand on the chair and try to unwire it. I'm just gonna grab the one that's right there. Nothing made sense. And by the way, Terrell didn't tell me that. Terrell himself never told me that. He told me that the reason that he took that footage was because he wanted to spare Erica having to see her husband killed in 4K.
Oh, come on.
And I said back to him, did you notice that we all watched him being killed in 4K? Like you didn't spare, if that was your goal, you came short of it when it was live streamed and the entire world saw it. And then he sort of pivoted and said, well, I also wanted to make sure that I had secured it for the FBI. And I said, well, why that camera in particular? Because you didn't grab the other ones that swiftly. And he said that, and this was the part I still can't get clarity on, that the ops back home. And I said, what do you mean the ops back home? You don't have people back at Turning Point USA watching the live stream. And he said, oh, we were doing something new that day. And I asked him, okay, well, were the ops, you're saying, he said up back in Arizona. I said, so they were at Turning Point USA headquarters? And he said, no. Well, that's where you work, Terrell. So who are these ops that you spoke to and needed to grab the footage? We can't get clarity on who the ops were.
So do you feel, what is the most compelling piece of evidence to you that the FBI story or the establishment story about what happened to Charlie is not true? What is the most compelling? For me, it's this. It's the fact that a 30-06 bullet would leave an exit wound like a drive-through, like at least 6 inches. So mostly it would probably blow someone's head off, and certainly his neck. And here's Rob O'Neill. He was part of the SEAL team that went and got bin Laden. And here's what he had to say about it.
And we were told that he was like Superman. His body stopped a 30-06 bullet. His body was like Superman, made of like some sort of a superhuman metal or something like that. What do you believe about that? If a 30-06 round hit Charlie Kirk, what would have happened?
Well, it's going to blow his head off, probably. It's going to be a big mess, too, but then you're going to find remnants of the bullet. I don't think they've even found it yet. Why was the chair and the desk moved when you can get a forensic expert in there and find out exactly where the shot was fired from? I'm just asking these questions. If they can be refuted, fine. And if you tell me the answer, great. I'll stop asking that. But we're not getting any answers except this is what happened. Shut up. Be a good worker.
Shut up. You're an anti-Semite. And when the trial happens, you'll look like a fool.
That's it.
So, to me, that's the most compelling thing, that this is a concocted story by the establishment. And so there's a guy who knows something about it. He shot a lot of people. So what's the most compelling piece of evidence for you?
Well, I will say, Jimmy, I am disappointed that you didn't like Popeye the Sailor Man when you grew up. You can eat a lot of spinach and grow up to be able to stop bullets. And I want to encourage everybody at home to eat your vegetables, because that you can 3,000 pounds of energy coming at you, you will be able to stop. So I'm disappointed in that guy, because who's he? What does he know about guns? And what's amazing is they're trying to do this thing where they're like, well, I spoke to some experts said it maybe could have happened. Show me the example. There's a lot of people being shot all around the world. Okay. Show me the example of a person who got shot in the neck with a 30-06 or even something of a similar caliber. And that not only, and I want you to focus on this, not only did the bullet not go through, okay, there was no blood splatter on the back of his shirt when he went down. Okay. They're not showing you that footage. Not only that, I've also said this, which should be, even if you said this was some miracle that it stopped, we can all agree the front of his neck would have been a mess. It wasn't. That's what I am telling you guys. He only had a mark where you saw that mark go in. It completely destroyed his artery. So that's why you saw so much blood. That was like completely. But this didn't even take out like the front of his neck. Okay. He looked good. He looked good after, once he was cleaned up and put into the casket. Charlie looked good. This was not a situation which required a lot to put Charlie back together. So that's what I want people to know. It's beyond just the bullet didn't pass through. You have to believe that it was such a miracle. There was no blood on the back of his shirt until obviously he went downward and then things, gravity. But there was no blood. There was no splatter. And also that the front of his neck, it was clean. It's ridiculous. Okay, so yeah, that's the big obvious thing. The second, for me, most compelling thing is that they're saying how harmful these conspiracy theories are, and yet the easiest thing that they could have done immediately is to just release footage of the person taking the shot. Even if we can't see it, Tyler Robinson, wouldn't you just go, oh, we're actually going to show you, because there were cameras everywhere, the shot being taken from Losey Center? They have not produced that evidence. Why? Explain to me logically. I know you guys are big lawyers and experts, why releasing footage of somebody taking a shot would in any way hinder your super strong case against him. That's not going to make it stronger, right? It's not going to make it stronger to show us that this person actually fired the shot. And here's, and I will say a third thing that's the most compelling. There was only one person who caught that person on the roof crouching down, one person who caught that on camera, right? And you hear the guy say in the background, oh, I see somebody up there. I see somebody up there. That happens at 12:23. I think Charlie gets shot at 12:23 and is maybe 30 milliseconds. I've spoken to that individual. He was difficult to find, but not too hard to find. I've spoken to this person twice. He said he has not been asked to testify. He did not. No, here's the best part. He did not see that person take the shot. He saw him crouch down, and that was it. And this person works teaching people how to fire guns. He said it did not look to him like Tyler. He said the person was in, what's the word? Which is what we heard over the 911 call. He saw a person that was in, he said he thought it was a military man, and he was in, what do you call them when they're in like their black official garb? There's an expression for that.
I don't know. I'm blanking on it myself.
Thank you. Tactical gear. My producer just said it in my ear. Tactical gear. He said he saw a person in tactical gear. This is a professional who knew what he was doing. He did not see him take the shot. He did not see, because he said there would have been a recoil, and that he told the local police, he walked into the police station right after, and he said, I saw somebody on the roof. He did not see that person take the shot. Okay. The lone witness to this person on the roof. Okay.
Wow.
They have not reached out to him. Tyler Robinson's defense lawyers have not reached out to him. Does that make sense to you?
Just sounds like you're a crazy person. And,
yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
So there's so